Scottsville. I knew I had to wait a little bit till some info came out, because the whole thing just, I don't know, just right away, your subconscious tells you, it told me. If you have common sense, and you want to know what the truth is, something like that, right away you're going to be going, wait, something's wrong here. And so I knew I had to sit and wait until some things came out, because, when it happens out of the blue, you're just like, whoa, what the hell? So anyway, some time has gone past and some things have came out. Number one, these two cars that were sitting in the road there had been sitting there forever. There's a couple videos, guys that were people, walking around videotaping the whole day. That van in the front had been sitting there for, I don't know, depending on all these other people's videos, anywhere from 45 minutes prior to this guy crashing into the people to 5 hours, just sitting there in the middle of the road. And supposedly cops were all over the place until just before this went down. So of course that tells me this is a totally liberal town and they're all in on it. And this mushroom clouds, this is just the bottom line, flat out truth. Satanism. My God, it's so big. Because so many people, they aren't going to get it until Christ shows up, all his people disappear, and Lucifer blows out of the ground with his demons. And then they're like, wait, what? This is real? Because the only way for people to be like that, for even a police force, all I could say is, if you look up satanic rituals, there's one thing that says, a video on YouTube that says satanic rituals, something about graphic warning, and has the picture of this Illuminati people standing around a table. It's an audio thing where you just sit and listen to it. This lady was an ex-Satanist, and she goes through the whole thing about how they're everywhere now. They're in our government, they're in our medical field. Obviously, look at this little baby that in England they just made die. They would not let the parents take the baby to try to get help anywhere else. Of course, they twist their words and basically what they're saying is the very best thing for the baby, and the baby would rather have this too, would rather die than be saved. And they stick to it. And the public, what do you do? How do you take on your whole government? But they made sure that baby died, and they couldn't bring him to America. There was a doctor here that went over there and did some sort of diagnosis and said, look, I think I could save this kid. And Europe is just fully controlled by Satanism now. They're England's trying to fight back. But that's the bottom line of all this, what they're doing. Because what this thing was in Scottsville was same deal as the Russian thing, where they're if we just scream Russia, 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 the only reason Trump won is because he colluded with Russia, They think they're going to somehow force him out of office and put Hillary in, or Obama back. It's like someone running up to you as fast as they can and screaming at the top of their lungs, 2 + 2 = 5, 2 + 2 = 5, 2 + 2 = 5. You figure if they do that enough, that all of a sudden 2 + 2 will equal 5. And that's what this is here. The Russian thing didn't work, even though they're still at it. Mueller now is on some guy that was working with Trump during the campaign, and they're just trying to get anything on him. I can't remember who Mueller hired recently, but they're going after him to try to nail him on anything, on his taxes, anything. And then when they get him, they're going to say, look, we're going to put you in prison for life for this here, that, there, whatever we find, if they find anything, unless you lie and say that Trump and Putin were freaking in bathrobes blowing kisses to each other somewhere. They're still trying to make that Russia thing legit. And the bottom line reason, that's why I'm going with this, because this is the bottom line, is they all sold their souls to get where they are, and time is up. Lucifer, if you ain't doing his work, he'll just take you out, and that's it. You're in hell. And hell, there's no words. Your very worst torments on this planet are paradise compared to hell. There's a videotape called 7 Minutes in Hell, and if you fast forward in it, to the 2-minute mark, it's a video clip, but it basically mimics what the Bible says. The pain and agony is so great that people are gnashing their teeth. They're gritting their teeth so bad they're breaking their teeth. That's how bad the pain and agony is down there. And so they're going ballistic because they've already been told by Lucifer, if you ain't going to get it done, what I need you all to do is to collapse America and Israel, at least America, first, and then we'll try through the UN to take over Israel. This is all prophecy. This is in the Bible. And, that every nation will be at war with Israel. And just before it looks, right when it looks like Israel's going to fall, God comes and wipes everybody out and takes his people, yada, yada. Anyways, that's what they're doing. This is all happening right now. These are the last days. And so Hillary and whoever, they're just going ballistic because they know that the dance is over. And unless they are doing something to legitimately or seriously actually trying to get this country to go satanic, because if they can get us to vote for them to take over and hand this country over to the UN, that's the ultimate thing. The UN already has mass laws against this country, taking our guns and everything, that if we hand over our sovereignty to the UN, we're done. It'll just be full-on World War III here in America, on the streets here. So the Democrats are coming out with every piece of crap thing they could think of. I mean, Trump even gives $1 million to, people for Hurricane Harvey? And they're going ballistic about that, talking crap. Did Obama give you a food stamp to the people of Hurricane Sandy? No, he even told Chris Christie, he got Chris Christie to do a bunch of ass licking, which, credit to Chris Christie, man, he did whatever he had to do for his people. But then when it was time for Obama to pay back and help out, he just said, hey, F you, crack a bean. I just wanted you to say that I was great and everything I've done is right. Now, here, lick on this. And that totally jacked Christie. But then again, that's the American people, how stupid they are. They fall for that kind of crap. Any BS thing that the Democrats put out there, there's just enough of them that fall for it. They don't even look for a zillionth of a second for what the truth is or the facts are. They just go with, hey, the Democrats said this or whoever said that. And I can't even tell you how many times I've told people that. Or people are like, well, someone said, well, they said this. They said, well, who gives a fool what they said? Ted Bundy said he was innocent. Should we let him out? He said he was innocent. How about the prison? Should we empty him out? They all say they're innocent. They said. I mean, if you are one of the stupidest freaking beings on the planet, then whatever. But you know what? Your rights to vote should be taken. Right then. If you are that stupid, you're going to fall for that crap. Anyways, Scottsville. Now some facts have come out. It was some person associated with Hillary Clinton, with the Clintons, that went and infiltrated the freaking rednecks or the whatever neo-Nazis and the KKK types. So while all this crap was going on in the media about Russia this and Russia that, which is total BS because the Democrats they won't let the FBI or DHS look at their servers to see what happened. They're just out there screaming, oh, Trump just won, because we got hacked and Trump's the one that did it, or him and Putin were together hacking our systems. And there again, American people being freaking as retarded as it gets, falling for it. Well, if they said it, that must be true. So here's Scottsville. This guy infiltrates this Clinton aide or whatever, infiltrates the KKK and neo-Nazis, and while the whole Russian thing's going on, he's down in some swamp or trailer park or whatever talking to them, telling them, hey, Trump's one of us, man. Look, I know, I'm up in government. And who knows what he told them, but he got them thinking, hey, we're going to be able to pull this white power thing off. We're going to be able to make this a neo-Nazi KKK country. Gets them all psyched out. He is the one who got the permit for the Scottsville thing. And he actually, even the ACLU jumped in, and that's another thing I got to do something about. A video clip here. The ACLU is just anti-American organization that is doing everything it can to bring this country down. And now they got a bunch of help. They got CARE, they got ISNA, and they hide behind maybe doing one thing nice, here and one thing nice there. And then they go back to doing everything they can to destroy this country. It's like Ted Bundy saying, well, I didn't kill every single girl there was. I mean, there was this one girl I helped walk across the street. And there's other one, she needed help, with her groceries, and I helped her. So don't look at the murders. Don't look at all the girls I murdered and raped their dead body. No. Just look at the time I helped somebody walk across the street or carried groceries for. Just look at that. That's it. That's what. God, I can't even think of the name now. ACLU and whatever, CARE and all of them. That's just who they are. So anyways, this guy goes to Scottsville and tries to get a permit for this neo-Nazi rally, and Scottsville tells him, kiss our ass, F you, goodbye. The ACLU gets involved and fights for them to give that permit, saying you can't deny them this. This is their right. So because of the ACLU, the permit was allowed. Now, because this was official and of all the crap that was definitely going to come from it, the cops got involved because they're supposed to. Every time there's a protest, they got to, protect the people and yada, yada, yada. Now, during this whole thing, George Soros is finding all these Antifas and Black Lives Matters and telling them, hey, you better get down there. These neo-Nazis are going to trying to take a stand. You guys better get down there and, show them that this ain't going to happen, yada, yada. So they all work together, all the Democrats, Hillary's people, George Soros, whoever, ACLU, and they get the permits for this thing. They get all the neo-Nazis down there, and they get all the neo-Nazis, or the Black Lives Matters and the Antifas and everything. So they get them all there, and just before it's about to start, this guy that works for Hillary pulls the permit. So all the people are there, and they're facing each other, and he pulls the permit. Well, the cops, they can't be there if there's not no official permit. If there's no official permit, there's no reason for them to be there. So they get told to leave. So they leave. It's okay, and guess what happens? Some crap goes down. Not really as big or whatever as it could have or whatever. But, yeah, there's some scrapping that goes on. Well, it's not enough. So, this car, out of the blue, this car shows up, plows into a bunch of people, where there's a couple parked cars just sitting there. And if you watch the videotape, if you search around, you'll find it. People that have been investigating this. That van that was in the front, there was never anybody in the front driver's seat. That's the first thing I noticed when I saw the first clips. I was like, where's the driver of the freaking van? I mean, that car was 2 cars away from the one that hit everybody. And what, you're going to try to say that the driver flew out the freaking window and landed 2 blocks away? What's the info on that going to be? The car behind them that got slammed into by the Dodge Charger or Challenger or whichever it was, I noticed their airbags didn't go off. And I was thinking, I don't know if that car is that old that it doesn't have airbags, because back in the day, cars didn't have airbags. So I'm like, why didn't it? And the ultimate thing was the Charger. How come those airbags didn't go off? In fact, how is that car even driving without the radiator being knocked out, slamming into like that, and leaking radiator fluid all over the place so the car can't get away? That car was reinforced. That car was special built for that, for a front end, like a demolition derby type car, so it wouldn't take out the radiator. Because any car there is, you hit somebody like that fast, that hard, that radiator is getting shattered. And you're getting nothing but radiator fluid all over the ground. That car's going to overheat and stop in a second. There's a guy, I should get all the links on this, but if you look, I'll put them up in comments if somebody asks. I'll find it. That actually shows somebody else, they don't even know the wreck happened, that this Charger hit these people and hit this car. And he just sees this car driving around the road with this front end half tore off, and he's like, holy, what the fuck? And so he videotapes it. This car's just cruising, regular driving speed, 30 miles an hour, just not like he's even, like anything's up, with his bumper hanging off, clear off the other end. And so this person videotapes it, and the car goes past. And now, with that and the arrest, whatever pictures, the, what do you call it, mugshots, they're looking at the shirt that the guy had when he drove past, and the shirt the guy, whoever was driving that car, and the shirt the other guy had that they arrested, that they said, did it. And they're not the same shirt. And it's like, well, neither one of these shirts are jail-type clothing, where they change you out and make you put on those orange jumpsuits. So it's like, well, what, did they have spare clothing there? So they're like, well, you know what, we want you to look, more spiffy. So take that shirt off and put this one on for your mugshot. I mean, the whole thing, it just reminds me of JFK, where, Oswald said, look, I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm a patsy. I don't even know what's going on. No one's talked to me. No one's told me nothing. And that's a whole other story. But, I mean, this looks like that. They found this guy that was part of the neo-Nazi thing. They're like, let's put it on him. We'll get a card just like his. I mean, these are powerful people. They can get a card just like the one he has, have a license plate made, because all the license plates are made in prisons. So they could have anybody go make the exact same license plate, put it there. But there's always those facts. The truth always gets in the way of when he slammed into him. That front end didn't just totally cave in, and he was able to drive out, without even radiator fluid blasting everywhere. And the other cars, I mean, no airbags went off anywhere. And then there's the clothing where, someone videotaped the guy driving down the road and he wasn't even wearing the same shirt. So, and also there's another picture of the guy when someone was filming and, the car hit the other two, and the crowd all like sprayed apart, and someone tried to run up close, and they got this like kind of dirty shot or blurry shot. But the guy who they arrested has this like really light goatee kind of thing. And whoever was driving that car was perfectly clean shaved. They didn't have that, whatever, 10 o'clock or midnight shadow going on. So this whole thing was set up by the Democrats, executed by the Democrats, and, and they're hoping it sticks, but now they're seeing that it's backfiring. But this is how crazy they are. And if you think of what they're doing, not only what they're doing, people are like, why would they do it? Why would they do it? Why? Because they're about to be drug into hell. Lucifer is about to rip them off this planet, and they are like this far from that eternity in hell. And this is how people that are like them are, man. They think as long as it's 10, 20 years down the road, so what? No big deal. That's then. I'll just cash it now and play. That's, I'll just act like it don't even matter. But once that time comes up, then they're freaking out. They're willing to do anything because, like I said, the torments on this planet are nothing compared to the torments of hell. You can see videos on YouTube of people who have died and come back to life, and what they said is going on down there. You can read the Bible and definitely get the picture. And that's where it is. And they're just come up with anything. And guaranteed the ones who are the most in trouble are the ones that are going the craziest. Pelosi can't even talk straight anymore. Some people try to say, well, it's all that silicone in her head from all those facelifts or whatever. No, she's going ballistic, man. Her eyes, that is a woman who has no soul. She's like dead girl walking. Her eyes are like sunk into her head. She's like already dead, just not officially there yet. But Maxine Waters, Schumer, I mean, if you look at the lies these people are telling, they know that in their brains, as long as I'm telling the craziest lies and doing the evilest crap I could possibly do, Lucifer's not going to take me. It'll happen later. But they know they're going. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And I guess to kind of end this up real quick, I got to do another thing on this, on just the Democrats. I try to call them DEMONCRAPs, which totally fits. They've been doing this forever. Since the very beginning. It was them that started slavery. It was them that went to war against the North to keep slavery, because it's evil. They wanted the whole country to be slavery. They've been working at evil taking over this country for hundreds of years, since the very beginning. Lucifer's people, God's people came here, the Puritans and that, well, so did Lucifer's people. Just like in the same family, I guess, Cain and Abel. They had two kids. One was God's, one was Lucifer's. Started off right away. And ever since then, that's what they've been doing, fighting for evil to take over this country in any way possible. And that's what they fight for. They always, of course, say it's something else. Every time we try to straighten something up, God's people do, they call us racist. Well, the only reason you're trying to do that is because you're racist, which is another thing. Neo-Nazis are pro-white everything. If you are in prison and you spill, a little salt shaker, you are getting your ass beat because that salt's white. So this car plowed into a crowd of white people. Neo-Nazis wouldn't do that. If it was all black or all Mexican or all something else, they would do it. But if there's white people in that crowd, no. And if they were going to do something, no way would any of them plow into a crowd like that and not be armed to the teeth. Where after he plowed, he could, just roll the window and just start blasting whoever. I mean, he's not going to do that and then try to drive off. It's a one-way ticket. So if this guy, who they got locked up in prison now, which the media needs to get to him, man. Somebody legit though, Fox or some true conservative needs to get to him and talk to him. They need to start putting in request after request, because who knows what the hell's going on while he's locked up in there. Because to me, from what I've seen, they already have a false arrest. And they haven't let him out. There hasn't been no bail. The whole thing's getting swept under the rug. Like, let's just act like, let's just talk about everything else and everybody will forget about him and who knows what the hell. It's like this Muslim cop that killed this lady in Minnesota. Or the 5-year-old girl that got gang raped by 3 Muslims in Idaho in Twin Falls. They hurry up and talk about something else to hurry up and get it swept under the rug. That cop in Minnesota hasn't even been arrested. He murdered her. Murdered the girl. She called the cops because of, there's a few different, we can't get why or what the real deal was. But the cop car pulls up. She has to walk out to the car. They don't even come to the door. And while she's standing there talking to the cop, this Muslim cop just pulls his gun and blasts her. 3-6 times, however many times he shot her, and kills her. He hasn't even been questioned. And this is them. This is Satanism. This is the Satanists. This is what they're doing. This is their thing. You can't forget. You can't be stupid like Americans have been forever. Like they did with Bin Laden. Where Bin Laden's killing Americans all over the place, and they just kept forgetting. Well, let's just act like we never heard about it. 9/11 happens, and they're like, holy crap, I can't believe it. It's like, what do you mean you can't believe it? This is what he's been doing for freaking decades, dumbass. And they're like, well, I forgot. I'm like, you know what? You are the type of people that someone has to cut a limb off for you to pull your head out. Every time you go to stand up and one of your legs is missing, and it's for this reason, maybe then you'll remember. It just blows me away, the stupidity of this country. Thank God Trump won this last time. That's like Reagan winning back when, because Carter did everything he could to destroy this country, and Reagan saved it. Reagan was this blessing from Jesus. And Trump's the same. But they were terrified. They looked at how Reagan turned this country around and got it set, and for the next 12 years or something, because Reagan did 2 terms and Bush did 1, Republicans had control, and they got everything going and running straight. So they're terrified that that's what Trump's going to do, and they're doing everything they can to get him taken out, but they're playing on everybody else's stupidity. Because just like how Satan can't just pop out of the ground, grab everybody by the head and force them to, deny Jesus and commit evil, whatever, all he could do is influence us, to tell us lie after lie after lie to get us to sell our souls, and that's what the Democrats are doing. They're just, in the media, in the colleges, and now, like I said, in that one thing, that Satanism thing, they're like, it's in our legal system, it's everywhere. Satanism is everywhere. And you know what? We have to fight fire with fire. We can't just let it go and then hopefully nothing comes up again. No, there's so many people on this planet that are so freaking evil that if they don't get prosecuted and put in the ground when they try to pull something hardcore evil, even people in companies that are trying to get everybody else's throat slit, rather than working and earning a promotion, they're constantly trying to slit other people's throats, get them out, fired, whatever. So when the time the job comes around, they're the only one left standing, not because they earned it. But if you let people like that stick around, yeah, they might not get you the first time or the second time or the third time, but the 10th time or 20th time, they might get you fired or kicked out or whatever. And just that's how Satan's people work. They just keep coming back and back and back and back, and that's the Democrats. And this time around, we just have to permanently, for good, forever, take care of it. That's it. Because, Trump needs to start prosecuting them, to the fullest extent of every law there is, locking them up. All these freaking politicians that are like, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and make our state a sanctuary state, and you can kiss our ass. Well, that's against the law. He needs to have them arrested. Right then. Not only do they break their oath, but they break their, their oath to the Constitution and to their state and federal laws. Well, that's what it is. They broke their oath, and they broke state and federal law. They all got laws in the books that say that that's illegal, and he just needs to start putting people away and replacing them, and not caring about what anybody else says, because this is what I'm getting out of Trump now. Is he's so sick of hearing the crap. He's like wanting to stop the crap from getting said. He's like thinking, well, maybe if I do this, they'll quit or that. And it's what George H. Bush did. W did finally too. But, W had 9/11 behind him, so they couldn't come out as crazy as they did with Reagan and with H. Bush. But Trump is doing the same, and he's appointing people to his committee, his cabinet that are like buddies of theirs. And anyways, it's not helping him. It's freaking hurting him. With him getting Bannon out and Gorka, I mean, he's making sure he's running a ship full of people that want to pull a mutiny. But he's like worried about what all these other captains of these other ships that are against him are going to say. I mean, he's falling for it. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing him fall for I just don't want to hear nothing. I just want to wake up and have things be nice and friendly. I mean, everybody thought Trump had the backbone for this, had the strength, and was just like, screw you all, you cross me, you're gone. He's been the strongest person like that's ran ever. But it's like they're wearing him down. And I don't know if we're going to see an emotional breakdown out of him in a little while or what. I mean, of course, on camera he still looks strong in that. But his decisions are like, dude, if you're going to let them break you, you are basically handing this country over to Lucifer, which means handing this planet over to Lucifer. Because once this country goes, it all goes. And I've been writing Trump this, for months now, telling him, dude, you got to get people around you that are solid as a rock, like Christ did. And of course, Christ had one Judas, but that was it. But Trump can't have any Judases at all. And that's just what he's got to do. He's got to get his cabinet in every position he can full of 100% solid people like Louis Gohmert. Of course, there's the other people that are out there that we don't know about, but that's who he's got to get, people like that. And he's got to send scouts out to look for people like that and start putting them in every position he can. Because the longer he doesn't appoint people to certain positions that are left open for Satan's people to do their crap, is just going to get worse, because they're going crazy now. Even though Trump won, all these liberals all underneath are just going ballistic, pulling every satanic move. We don't have the room here for me to say all the crap that's still going on. And they're trying to keep it hidden because they don't want the public to know. They don't want the Trump voters to know and to do something about it. They just want to force this country into full-on collapse. And if they could somehow do that while Trump was president, then all the better for them. If Hillary was president and they did it, they would still blame the Republicans. It's like they did with what they just did. Trump just said he was going to give $1 million and for the victims of Harvey, and they're going ballistic, saying I don't even see what they're saying. I just seen a bunch of posts where it says, they're talking crap that like he didn't give. Why doesn't he give 10 million or 20 million or whatever it is? Well, why don't they give their money? Why didn't Obama give any money? For Sandy victims. It's no matter what he does, they're going to go off and talk crap about how he needs to be taken out, and that's another thing. I got to see how much time I got here. Because they need him out of office to pull this new world order. So even if he was to raise the dead or wave his hand and heal all the people, everybody have cancer, they would still come up with anything they could to get him out of office, because they have already been told by Lucifer, you either get him out or get him to go our way, or whichever, so we can, make this country a part of this new world order, or I'll just kill y'all, and, you'll just be in hell forever. So that's where they're at. They're right at that red line with Lucifer and their eternity. And that's why they're doing all this stuff that's completely psycho. I mean, there's so much of it, it's not even funny, the stuff they're trying to do and say. It's because they got Lucifer's hand on their neck and they're about to go. You know, because otherwise, what's the reason? You know, seriously, what is their reason for all this? Okay, well, that's about it. I got to do another video or two, like on ACLU, and elaborate a little more on how the Democrats are actually trying to destroy this country. All right.